call this meeting to order. We did have to delay some check work. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call, please?
Village President Hawkins,
Here.
Ms. Bernie,
Here.
Mr. Deadline, here, Morgan,
Present.
Mr. Pacini,
Absent.
Ms. Worrell,
Absent.
and Ms. Wheeler.
Present.
Okay, we have a point.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for approval for minutes dated 7/15/2022?
I move to approve the minutes dated 7/15/2024 as presented.
Thank you.
That's that. Okay, motion to approve previous meeting minutes from July 15th. Motion made by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Seconded by Mr. Deadline.
Yes.
Ms. Bernie,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler.
Abstain. I think we have one on the,
Yes, Richard Hayes.
did he show up? Richard Hayes? Hi, Richard Smith. You can step up if there
What
was
was that?
You can step up if there was something you wanted to address the board.
Yes, I wanna freaking address the board on my neighbors. 314 hasn't cut his grass in the year in his backyard.
314 where, I'm sorry, dude.
Park Lane Drive,
Park Lane, okay.
321 across the street, you've had many a complaint from him. I'm getting wild animals coming from his and burying underneath my house, trying to get into the freaking garage on my porch.
And someone lives there? Or
Yeah,
it
someone
is-
lives there.
It is
You
ridiculous.
guys been there many a times. He's got a jungle in his backyard. Markowski's next to him are complaining, they've got wild animals coming to their yard.
Chief,
It
do you have
just,
anything?
it's getting out of hand.
He was cited, adjudication report the end of the month.
Brian's backyard hasn't been cut all year. His dogs keep trying to get through the fence. You can see he's got freshly blocked holes. My daughter's afraid to walk out the house. She checks the cameras to make sure they're not home, because when they're home, their dogs get loose. She's got 3 Rottweilers running around in the house, and she's afraid to walk out in her front yard.
Yeah,
Is that, I'm sorry, is that the 314 too?
314, 321's across the street.
Will anybody call?
No, and he's had that makeshift garage out in his driveway for over 3 weeks. He had that carport set up because he was having a garage sale, never took it down. We had that storm. I got 2 vehicles damaged now. They're probably gonna tow both of them
From Brian's,
from Brian's.
but that's gone. Been
Yeah, it's gone now because it went over my pickup truck, over my daughter's Jeep, and into the neighbor's front yard and hit their car. He had 3 freaking cars in there.
He was just on adjudication this past month for the cars.
Well, no, I'm talking the canopy he had that carport put up for 3 weeks. I mean, was that legal to have in his driveway?
It was,
Just built, just let it sit there?
well, it's
We need to check the ordinance.
it's not a carport, it's a temporary, tent.
It was a temporary carport. He was up there for over 3 weeks.
Yeah, but not, he was told to take it down and he didn't. Or-
Yeah, the wind took it down and now I got 2 vehicles totally damaged from it. And he's got a rowboat sitting next to the house. That's the next thing that's gonna come through my house.
Unfortunately, we don't necessarily go into backyards,
It's sitting on the side yard up against the fence. It's a 12-footer.
but if people call, then we can investigate.
So he's got a 12-footer sitting right there and the next windstorm comes, it's gonna go right through my freaking house. That's the only problem I have is.
And I don't know necessarily if that would be prohibited having,
And then you got the neighbor that's on Willow Street that's directly behind me, keeps parking his trailer back there in the backyard. But if you look right in there with the trees, he's got 3 motorcycles sitting in there that aren't licensed and tagged. They've been sitting there for years. He's got 2 lawnmowers back there. He's got a stack of freaking bicycles back there, all wedged in there behind all the trees.
yeah.
I mean,
We don't,
it's,
unless somebody calls us and we investigate a complaint, we don't
I
necessarily
mean,
know.
it's gotta be oil draining and everything. I mean, it's just, there it is.
Right,
So, I'm sorry, Willis Street
Willis
is
Street.
behind you,
Yeah,
you're saying?
behind.
Okay.
He keeps parking his trailer there, you guys wrote him a ticket for not having a sticker, and then 2 weeks later, he puts it right back there and leaves it.
I apologize. What was your name again?
Richard Hayes.
Richard Hayes. And you're on Park Lane,
Yep.
Park Lane also?
Yeah, so like I said, now I got 2 vehicles that are damaged because Brian didn't take the carport down.
Like Chief Bryce said, the police have limited what they can see in backyards as far as code enforcement. We're not big enough to have an actual code enforcement
Well,
officer.
I know, but my
Which is,
problem was.
okay, I let you speak, let me speak. Do you want to hear it or not?
No, go ahead.
We can't afford to have a code officer that can go into backyards and do this. If neighbors call and complain, the police can go into backyards at that point and investigate. And like he said, he's in adjudication for that. As far as the tent flying off, I would assume that would have to be something with his insurance or your insurance.
Well, that's got,
I understand it sucks and
but my
should
problem
have
is,
been
if
stopped.
it was there for 3 weeks and they're driving by it, why don't they rap on his door and say, get it out?
Well, you can have tents up for a certain amount of time. That's the thing.
Okay, what's
As long
a
as
certain
it's
amount of
not-
time then?
I don't have it off the top of my head with the ordinances.
That's what I'm asking, so.
The ordinances are available online. For anyone that wants to look
I
them up.
got $10,000 worth of damage.
Did you have anything else, Mr. Hayes?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else, Mr. Gilman?
No.
Do we have a motion to approve bills for payment and payroll?
Yes, and move to approve bills for payment dated August 1st, 2024 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $22,394.17. Also dated August 1st from the TIP account, $704.81. Also move to approve payroll ending July 20th, 2024, in the amount of $20,379.72. Also ending July 20th, in the amount of $671.76.
I'll second.
Any question?
Motion to approve bills for payment as follows. Dated August 1st, general fund, $22,394.17. The tip account, $704.81. Payroll ending July 20th, $20,379.72, and also to another July 20th, the amount of $671.76. We have a motion made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Detloff.
Yes.
Thank you. Department reports, clerk Scott Dillman.
Hey, last meeting I reported that I did not have specific information as regarding to the April 1st election of 2025, which will involve us. But since then I have received it. Here's, if you want some boring reading, this will be available at the Village Hall. Basically, the crux of the thing, what most people are interested in, it is asked, petitions can be filed, the piece of paper that you go around and you get signatures on, that can be started on August 20th of this month. And they must be turned in between November 12th and the 18th. And also listed in here is a few other papers such as economic interest statements and a couple other things that you'll need to file at the same time. So those are basic information that I am putting out there for anyone interested at all in running for trustee, which we will have 4 positions open. One of which is just a 2-year, the other 3 or 4-year. Village president and clerk will be open for election in next April.
Thank you, sir. Attorneys. Have nothing. Engineers, obviously down me. It says, we have updates on our Essen Farm Safe Route to School project, which was originally delayed due to some resident issues, but now is going to be delayed and unfortunately not going to be able to start and be completed before the 2024-2025 school year. As of right now, they have a tentative date to start sometime end of August, beginning of September. For the Essen Farm project, that is gonna be a walk path on the north side of the road for kids to be able to get to school safely without crossing back and forth. The other update is gonna be the Main Street drainage project that is, was set to start around the same time, is delayed for the reason of, storm pipes needing to be prefabricated. So we're waiting on that. That will probably start before the Essen Farm, only because of, it's already out to, bid, and KVCC is already doing that project. The Taylor Street drainage project, sorry,
So you're saying that the Main Street project will be sometime later this month?
yes, that will,
Okay.
they'll probably start all the digging and getting ready for those pipes.
Okay,
Yes, apparently there is one on site today. They will be getting that ready, but with the timeline we have for it, it will not be finished before school starts, unfortunately. But they will both tie into each other, since they both do meet at that corner. So they will make that corner look a little nicer once everything is done. The update on Taylor Street in front of the elementary school. It went out to bid on August 1st. The bid opening will be August 15th, and it will be awarded to bid on August 19th. Which means we'll have another project going on during the school year. The Taylor Street drainage project is the newest one we discussed with the Board of Education, the school board. I will bring the school board to their next meeting, the proposal of the project to work with them as far as splitting any cost of that project with the village. And then I will bring it back to the board. So the next meeting I will be a little bit late for, so I'm gonna go to the school board meeting first to present that to them, and then I'll be here for that. And then that was it for, Neil. He was gonna try and send Tim, but they have a lot of other projects going on. Next, ordinances and insurance committee, Miss Susie Weedle.
Hello, yes, I have ordinance number O-8-24-1. It's an ordinance amending Title VI, Health and Sanitation, Chapter 2, Garbage Rubbish, Section 6-2-4, burning of the Grant Park Village Code of Ordinances. And Ben did all the work on this one. Ben, do you want to explain just the changes in this?
Basically, we refreshed the ordinance where the only thing we changed on this is residents cannot burn in the village, and that's how originally the ordinance read. But it allows the village to burn trees and leaves, it's things they pick up at their burn pile facility in the back. The way it stated before, it didn't really specify that the village could do that. Now it does. So nothing's changed. You can still have your fire pit in the backyard, and just like we did before, it just allows the village to burn at their burn pit.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I would like to make a motion to waive the first reading on ordinance number O-8-24-1.
okay, motion on the floor to waive first reading of ordinance O-8-24-1. Amending the Title VI, referring to burning of leaves in trees. Motion made by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
seconded by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Datlow.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance number O-8-24-1 an ordinance amending Title 6, Health and Sanitation, Chapter 2, Garbage Rubbish, Section 6-2-4, burning of the Grant Park Village Code of Ordinances.
I'll second.
Okay, motion to adopt ordinance O-8-24-1, amending the Title 6 ordinance of burning with leaves and trees. Motion made by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
and who am I forgetting? Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
And that is all I have. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, the Streets and Alley Committee, Frank Cassini is not in attendance. I spoke with JD and Steve today, thank you, sorry. We got, I want to thank JD and Steve, two guys who, got all of our cleanup done for those micro storms we had on that Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was. It took them 6 days to get it all cleaned up. It was 60 truckloads of different types of branches. They do ask that any brush that is put out, which brushes, branches and twigs and sticks that come off of a tree or a bush, be cut into 3 to 5 foot pieces, meaning get a saw or a chainsaw and cut them into nicely stacked pieces so they can be picked up and put into the truck by JD and Steve. If they are not cut up, they will not be picked up. You can call the village hall and complain, but they will not be picked up until they are in compliance with what JD and Steve ask you to put in so that they can be piled into the pickup truck. Also, we had 4 residents that called last week at different addresses that still did have some issues with trees that were not emergent. Steve will be in contact with 4Rs next week to have them come out and fix these other couple of trees that are still having issues. There's a couple of very large branches that did get stuck up high into trees that need to be pulled down by a professional. There are quite a few trees that will be coming down in the village, unfortunately, that were damaged by the storm or have rot in them that are not safe to have up. We will be taking those down. Unfortunately, this year in the budget, we will not be able to replace any trees currently, but obviously in the future, anytime we can replace any trees anywhere that they were cut down, we would try to replace them first. Correct, Katie? An update on Hilbert Park. It has been asked numerous times by several different residents why there is no garbage can at Hilbert Park. There was a garbage can at Hilbert Park at one time, but then people would, since there's nobody really back there, would pile tons of garbage around on and in the can that did not belong to the park. It would cause an issue and we would have to have someone go out and pick it up. So we asked that if you do go to a park that may not have a garbage can, any garbage that you bring with you can easily be brought home with you. I mean, there's Walmart bags, there's trash bags. If we have garbage cans out there that people want to abuse and dump around, then yes, they will be removed from public parks because people cannot behave. It's unfortunate, but it has to happen. As far as residents complaining about other residents, it's fine. We do, like I was stating earlier with Mr. Hayes that was just here. We do not have a code enforcement officer, unfortunately. The police are limited as to how far they can go in or look around a property without an official complaint by a resident. The officers do drive around, they do try to notice longer grass, weeds, brush, anything that is not in compliance with any ordinances. If you do see something, feel free to call the village hall or the non-emergency police number to report any code enforcements that you feel need to be addressed. We have no problem with that. Just because you do not see a police officer address the issue does not mean it is not being addressed. We had 25 tickets in adjudication court this last time. So things are being done, they just may not be being done to the liking of certain people. So if you have any complaints, adjudication is on the third Tuesday generally of the month. Fourth Tuesday generally of the month, held at the village hall. It is open to the public. Anyone is welcome to come and watch quietly. And see that people do get tickets for things such as unregistered cars, brush, and weeds. Okay, moving on. Sorry that was like a lecture, but that is how it had to be to address a lot of concerns that we have. More, sorry. Yes, sir.
If allowed, can I address one thing that you mentioned on there?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Can we try the garbage can again down there, Hillview Park? I mean, I picked up 6 water bottles the other day when I was down there.
We can certainly, JD, can we try a garbage can again? At Hilbert Park, we will give it one time. Once it is overflowed with garbage or there is garbage packed around it, it will be gone again.
Overflow, that's just an issue of getting dumped in a timely manner. Is it not?
No, when there's garbage bags of garbage in there that didn't come from the park, that's when people
Well,
are just
true.
done. And it's overflowing.
These water bottles wouldn't have probably been laying amongst the train if there was some place for them.
I am not disagreeing,
Okay.
but yes. We will try it again for a period of a month and see how it goes. And keep a close eye on it. If that works for everyone. Okay, next, leaf pickup. I apologize. Let's get back to leaf pickup. I contacted Republic. Republic can and will. We got a couple minutes since it's pouring. You can get a container for leaves for the 3 months that leaves are falling, for however many weeks it is. It is $9 a month per container. It can be filled with leaves or any yard waste. Republic will pick it up. Republic also said if you get the paper bags that yard waste can go in and set it along next to the yard waste can that may be full, they will pick those up. That is the solution we have temporarily this year for leaf pickup. Other than that, we don't really, I mean, we have limited trustees that are here, but anyone else that might have a suggestion temporarily for this year, I mean, I'm open to it, but I spoke with JD and Steve this morning and the thing we use now is out of service, out of commission, can't be used, right? For safety reasons and a number of other reasons, financial reasons. Right. It's just not something that is feasible. To purchase something would be at least 3,000 to 7,000. And it wouldn't be as efficient as what we have, but it's not in the budget of streets and alleys this year. So for this year, the solution that I looked into would be to have the garbage company.
So to get that container, they call the garbage company.
If you don't already have a yard waste, it's just a yard waste.
Oh, it is,
container.
okay.
Yeah. They would deliver it to you, and go from there. I put it on here to discuss and vote on it.
I guess I'm confused myself here.
What's wrong?
Yeah, I'm simple. I understand that.
No, you're fine.
You have a yard waste container now.
Yes.
Are they charged for that?
Yes.
So how they
Yes. I guess if you have a yard waste, a garbage and a recycle, you get charged for each
Yes.
one? Yes.
Why, more than your regular $20 a month type thing?
I guess it's $9 for each additional can. That's what they.
So you get so regular garbage, all blue,
No
doesn't
charge.
say yard waste, that's the $20 a month to pay, whatever, it is, right? But no yard waste, that's
Yard waste, they only do.
always been over and above.
But what I'm understanding, yes, I honestly right now don't pay my garbage, but my parents do. So what they explained to me is if you don't have a yard waste,
They don't charge any different. So it's $20 a month.
Maybe-
One of each.
yeah, maybe the first can is, I'm not sure, I mean, I can ask more about it, but they said if you don't have a container, it would be the yard waste container for yard waste. You could get one, an extra one maybe for $9 a month. Or you can use the paper bags that they would pick it up. Or you can just leave leaves on the ground and let it blow away.
Fortunately, I don't have that.
I
She
don't,
gets a lot.
she has a lot of this. So
I live in the Rock.
it says discuss and vote on the issue. I don't know if we want to wait for other two trustees. It's not anything we as the board really have to do, except for let residents know that by either a flyer or mailing out a letter saying, unfortunately this year, we will not be picking up leaves. Your alternate options are going to be garbage company or break them up and put them in bags or just let them be. Any feelings?
As long as everybody knows, we just can't buy the equipment this year.
Ben, anything? I know you're pretty close on this.
I did look into a company that made something similar. They made a box and a vac that what we have now. The vac would be close to 40,000, the box is 12,000.
Yeah,
And then the yellow truck was retrofitted to put the box into it. So I don't know if we would have something else, but I mean, right now to spend over $50,000 for 6 weeks is a pretty big investment that we really can't do right now. And I did reach out to a couple other communities nearby and asked if there was any way that we could rent or they could help us. And they said in an emergency situation, they could, but this is not an emergency. And when we need it, they need it. So we did try, and I don't have a perfect solution right now. But the best thing we can do is, and like we said, this is temporary. This is not how it's going to be moving forward. This is the best we can do right now, and it's short notice. The machine just broke down, and leaf pickup is going to start here at short. So I think this is the best that we can do at a short notice.
If we want to do better, it's not like we're shutting it.
We do, but
It's not-
right now the revenue is not there. And we did, like I said, we reached out to other communities and they can't help us.
okay. So yeah, we can come up with a letter to be able to send out to residents, just to let them know. Like communication is the best.
Yes.
That this year, I will call Republic and get the exact thing. If they already have a yard waste, I'll get the exact details for the pricing and whatnot. I literally did this after the last meeting, so I honestly don't know the exact details, but. We'll get that letter printed, approved by the board, and then we will send that out ASAP to let people know what to look forward to this fall. Finance Committee Chairman, Mr. Gary Morgan. Thank you, sir. Community Outreach Chairman, Ben Detlaw.
Just briefly, we met with Surf Internet July 25th. We went over the process of how we're gonna get things started. They did apply for a permit with the village, and drawings are in the office for Chris to look over and give approval on. They did apply with the state for the permits necessary that they're gonna need. They reached out to Aqua for their water source. They're gonna put a meter on the hydrants. When they do this, they're gonna have a hotline if anybody has any complaints concerning the procedure, noise, anything, they will address that, and then they also will go door to door and reach out to people when they're gonna start on a certain block. And let them know that we're gonna be here for 3 days, working from, 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, and if there's any issues or any inconvenience, they said they would work very hard to, with the residents to try to make it as easy as possible. And, just as we talked before, this is, there's no obligation to sign up for this, and there is no tax money involved. It is free to the village. So if someone wants to sign up, once it's installed, it's up to the residents. If they want it, fine. If they don't, in the future, it will be there where they can have it for this. And it's completely, compared to what we have now, it's way faster. That's all I have.
Thank you. Buildings and Ground Committee, Ms. Robin Burney.
I know we had gone over this quite some months ago, and we struggled with getting any kind of a bid for the library and the lights to be redone. Mr. Morgan was nice enough to contact Evergreen Electric and get a bid for us. That came in the end of July. So this is to have the, and quote from wrong, all the lights replaced. There was a light switch that's in question. There was something else to it. But that's all wrapped in it.
Oh, yeah, it looks like there's switching problems.
Yeah, there's two switches that sort of control two sets of lights together, or not always.
Right.
It's causing a problem with flickering and sparkling.
So,
And again, we've tried to get other people. Electricians, the one guy that we often get, he said, yeah, I might be able to come out in February or March, take a look at it, but really, we should be getting these things done sooner. And I think we look at Con Ed too, and they don't do this kind of programming anymore. I
right,
mean, like 8 years ago, they were replacing LED lights. Up and down.
yeah.
So since this is the only bid we were able to obtain, I'd like to make a motion. For this to approve the M3 electric to replace all the old lighting in the library, not to exceed $2,745.
I'll second. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, that's fine, as
Item,
long as it gets done.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions from anybody?
Yes, any questions? Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve M3 Electric to replace all old lighting in the library at a cost not to exceed $2,745. Motion made by Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
seconded by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Mr. Detloff?
Yes.
And Ms. Wheel?
Yes.
Law Enforcement Committee, Ms. Morgan Laurel is not here. Carl, are you gonna be? The only last thing I have is on, oh my God, I forgot about this, on trees and property lines. We had a lot of issues. According to the attorney, you have to imagine your property line shoots straight up from the ground up to Jesus. And anything within your box of your visible property line, you are responsible for. If a branch from a tree in our park lane that we own breaks off, falls, it comes into your property, technically, you are responsible for it because it has now breached your property line. We, as a small village, obviously do try to go out and just pick things up as we can, but it comes down to people calling and complaining after this last storm that the village is responsible for only certain things when it comes to acts of God. So, going forward, I mean, we do try to do the best we can, and we do try to go with past practice, but as far as obligations and legality goes, the village is only so responsible for trees that we may own that may be ripped out of the ground and land on something in your property. Acts of God are hard to decide who's at fault. So it's a situation by situation thing, so. Going forward, JD and Steve have a list of places that they are aware of right now from these past storms that they're gonna continue to fix. But there are some places that the village is not responsible for. And those homeowners I have contacted personally and went to their houses and explained the situation, so. I have no problem doing that going forward, if, JD and Steve call on me to do that, but there are only certain responsibilities the village has when there is a storm. Are there any questions? I hate that it comes off so monotone, but there are just issues that have come up, so.
Good to know.
Is there a motion? Yes. Oh,
Need
yeah.
to talk about street signs.
Oh, yes, the street signs that are gonna be going up around town, we have now a new sign, it says wheelchair. It is for our one wheel, well, we have multiple, but we do have a specific wheelchair bound person who does go around town. We do have a lot of new residents going in, so there are around the blocks where he normally is at, we will have new signs that say caution, handy or wheelchair crossing in this area, just so that people are more aware. I do know he's trying to get his flags fixed so he can be more visible at nighttime. But also as a village, we should have some type of signage out there since we don't have sidewalks everywhere. So that's the signage. And then there are gonna be some kids at play signs going up around, Wicks bicycle shop where they have a lot of kids out at now, and anywhere along where they do their bike paths or they stop. We have a lot of kids at play signs going up so people can slow down. I mean, it's common sense, but they make signs if they have for a reason. All right, anything else? A motion to adjourn,
We'll do it, Jen.
all in favor? Meeting adjourned. It looks like, yeah, the rain has slowed down quite a bit. Run.